That's right. Early Intervention Brothers, we're back. Thank you for tuning in. I
All
hope
right,
we're able to help.
let's get started.
David, getting a little anxious there, aren't you?
Yeah,
You
good to
ready
be
for it?
back.
It is good to be back. 2022, we haven't done anything, but hopefully we're here to do something major and impactful with our first episode of the new year.
So first of all, and foremost, just want to welcome everyone. It's been a new upcoming year, and we have some exciting things going on. Some exciting announcements probably later in this episode we're gonna talk about. But Alex, let's go ahead and get started.
Let's be impactful. And lately, something that I've been noticing with the clients that I work with is tantrums. So David and I have been brainstorming how can we use our energy, which it's constantly positive. Believe it or not, my blood type is B positive. So let's make tantrums positive, right, David?
Correct.
Do you feel that when parents are in that moment, they can see the positive in the tantrum, or is it just all downhill, horrible stuff?
There's a couple different ways to look at a tantrum. My perspective and your perspective, we're always thinking outside the box of the tantrum. But I know what my parents express is it's hard to let them tantrum, especially out in public or in a social setting. And there's a lot of that, and let's just call it peer pressure.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
right. And let's stick on this topic. We need to be strategic when dealing with the tantrum. And David provided an example. So when we put clients or kiddos in a situation that we know is going to trigger, they're more likely to be receptive and understanding before the full blown category 10 tantrum and then after once they've calmed down. Right, David?
correct. And I think for our parents to understand that a little bit more, we gotta put that we have to put ourselves out there in those situations to improve them. We can't continue to ignore that my child or my client's going to have a tantrum and we have to transition. We have to get out of there. We have
Wait,
to
so
escape. We have
are
to get
you
air.
are you saying just because a kiddo tantrum in like Walmart, don't stop going to Walmart, go to Walmart continually?
I would say consistency is the key in order to
Okay.
help sustain, positive momentum with that. If we continue to ignore it, or when we have absolutely no other choice to take our son or daughter to Walmart when there's no babysitter, maybe there's no relative to watch them, maybe we pleaded all resources, for that hour. Unfortunately, we got to go through. I always say we got to go through the eye of the storm.
There you go. And the tantrum's the storm, right?
Correct. The tantrum's a storm before we can get to the rainbows and sunshine.
So if the last time a parent was in Walmart and it caused a tantrum, if we know that a kiddo is more receptive before the tantrum, it would probably be very wise to tell your kiddo, like, hey, look him in the eye. It was rough last time, but this isn't last time. This is a new time to be good. And if you're good, then we'll be able to watch Coco Melon later, or maybe we'll have a special treat once we get home. You got to incentivize them, right?
And exactly. Another thing that one of my parents in the past did through my suggestion was filming their behavior,
Ooh.
filming them having, an outburst at a grocery store, and then showing them
And then put
before
it up on
going.
TikTok. Put it up on
Now,
TikTok. Is that what you're doing?
I don't know about TikTok, but I know that they through the week they showed that behavior to the child, and they announced that that's bad boy or that's
No,
bad,
that's not okay.
and that's
Let's
not
not say
okay.
bad. Let's say that's not okay.
The parent had their own way of describing this video to their son or daughter, and when they went to Walmart the following Friday or the following day or however the week was for them, they saw positive behavior.
There you
They
go.
saw a positive response. And I think they used throughout the week, they used that video to describe the bad I'm sorry, what did you call it?
We'll call it not okay behavior.
Not okay behavior at the time of a Walmart setting or a grocery store.
So that's video modeling, really, and a little bit of priming, because you're saying next time we go, this is not okay. Talk to your toddlers. The more that you stay consistent with that, they're going to power through it. But in the middle of that category 10 tantrum, it's important to stay calm and it's important to be patient. Yes, there's a million eyes at you looking at you in that moment when your toddler's completely losing it. But if you also lose it, ain't no one going to survive, right, David? So that's another
Correct.
strategy
And,
is stay calm.
and talking on that, that point, staying calm is crucial, because they're your son or daughter is observing your actions. If they scream and yell and they see you get up and jolt and start bringing them toys and options, or they don't want to be
Giving
there,
them
so
the phone, giving them the phone.
giving them the phone, and they see that their scream or their yell has power. I always refer to the control, control, the power of control. And every time they scream and yell, regardless if it's at a grocery store, they're going to want that response from you.
Yep.
So you have to really stay calm. I'm a big fan of the pause and wait. Yep. And a lot of my parents, it's simple: pause and wait. There are no other descriptions in that. You just literally pause and you wait. And yeah. I'm a big founder on counting in your head, so that it allows the kiddo to see that you're not going to respond to that cry, to that inappropriate communication.
And David, when you're telling a parent this, you kind of get the sense that they're kind of giving you the look like, oh, it's better. It's easy for you to say, right?
Absolutely.
It absolutely is. Let's just put it as what it is. It is absolutely easy for us to educate and support parents with these strategies, but it falls on the parent to stay consistent. Well, and this brings me to the next strategy. Well, but I'll let you go first. Go for it.
I actually had a parent say, well, why don't you come show us how it's done? and I did. I went to the grocery store, a couple of years ago. I went to a grocery store. We labeled it as a social setting. And we went to a grocery store, and I showed the dad and the mom exactly how we're going to respond. And I showed them some other tips as far as some motivating factors for the kiddo to sit down in the basket, or to sit down, to be appropriate in a grocery store. I brought in their toys. Well, in a grocery store, especially, let's just say like a Ralph's or Albertsons or Stater Brothers, whatever your poison is, which grocery store you go to,
And with that, we have to be very mindful and careful that we are not redirecting, because is that really addressing? All right. So, but we're going to have videos later on about redirection, when really we want to tackle the issue at hand. And naturally, your toddler will organically progress the more and more you go to the store and power through tantrums. Right. But with the next strategy, we want parents to be firm. Whatever you set the rules are, that's the rule every single time you go out. So speak on that, David, about firmness and staying consistent. Everything loops in.
Right away, any 0 to 3, staying routine, reassurance, and regulation. If you can think of those 3 R's through every activity, not just behaviors, but every activity in development, you are giving your toddler a chance to understand how to be appropriate, how to understand when mommy and daddy speak, they're listening, not ignoring, because they have the 3 R's. They understand the reassurance part, they understand the regulation part, and they understand the routine. Nice. If those 3 R's are not established in anything we do, the toddler is not going to have comfortability, and that's where you're going to see them strike out. So if you're not consistent, let's say we go to Walmart or let's say we just do an activity and we go backwards with things. We play with the toy, we don't give them the toy, or we eat first and we don't feed them. If there's no set routine, the child's always going to have questions and is going to act out.
Yep.
But because if you're firm, if you're consistent with your routine, if you're consistent with your reassurance to the child, we're gonna do step A, step B, step C, all the same time. That's your routine.
Predictability. Everyone loves predictability. Toddlers particular, right?
Now, I'm a big believer on those 3 R's. I'm not a believer on that the child knows my next move, and that's why he acts out. Which a lot of my parents tell me, well, he knows we're going to do that, so that's why he screams. Well, that means at one certain point in time, when he acted out and screamed, you responded.
You broke rule number 1 here at Early Intervention Brothers. You weren't consistent. Stay consistent. It works, especially on toddlers. But these are just a few ways to handle tantrums. We'll recap with them real quick. You have to have a plan. Know and recall the last time your child had a tantrum and get them ready. Have some type of conversation with them, some type of routine, like we're going to go in, we're going to be quick, we're going to leave. Put a timer on it so that way they know. Also, keep calm, stay relaxed through the course of the tantrum. If you give in, your toddler is going to know, hey, I just got to hit the Mariah Carey note and we're out of this store, or I get that chocolate at checkout. And then lastly, be firm. No means no, and stand your ground. David, final recap before we blast off into time.
No, I think again, it's hard at this point in time because of COVID. And sometimes we let our guard down. Sometimes it's easier just to give in. But
Yep.
if we continue to give in or continue to stretch ourselves thin with tantrums or behaviors or just overall problems with communicating or everything we're doing with our child, it's going to add up. It's justified if that child acts out.
It is.
If we're giving the opportunity for that child to understand it's okay to have a big tantrum. We don't have to do that. It will add up later down the years if we don't address it now. And that's
will
why
pay dividends long
big
term.
time.
Big time. Well, with that, we thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. More content is to follow, but you don't know if you'll get it unless you subscribe. Take care, everyone. Be safe.
Thank you.